Today we're going to talk about fear. Boogie woogie. Welcome to the ReUp. So once again, I must admit that I did start this episode of the ReUp without a microphone. I just gotta get better with that. How are you supposed to hear me? How are we supposed to communicate? But in any case, welcome to the ReUp. My name is Jason Delgado. This is the beautiful, if not bare, Orsini Studios in beautiful Los Angeles, California. This is the ReUp where I, Jason Delgado, stand-up comedian or aspiring stand-up comedian, because you got to be a professional and get paid full-time to be considered, in my opinion, a full comedian. But an aspiring comedian as I am, dreamer, artist, creator, working a day job, trying to find inspiration and the dream. Making the dream real out there in these streets, and hoping that some of this inspires you out there who are also working a day job, trying to find your own dream, doing something, in the creative arts that are, going through the struggle like all of us, and sort of these little things are the things that help me, things I think about. I'm always trying to better myself, each week, each day, a little bit better. And one of the things that's a real big sort of hindrance for me, as far as things that stop me from doing things, is fear. I think it's a thing for a lot of people. Just throwing it out there. But yeah, fear, especially for a stand-up comedian. You're going to try something new in front of people. Nobody laughs. What if they laugh at me? And there's that fear of that. There's the fear of just going out. Like, oh, what if I got to drive all the way out there and the show sucks? Like all these sort of predetermined things that sort of get in the way. And those are things that not only affect the comedy thing, and I think any kind of artist, creative-wise, because fear, that'll hurt. That'll destroy. But I think also just for life, you know what I mean? So much of I find the things that I do and the things that I worry about and the things that I get sort of anxious about are sort of, fear-based. And so where that comes from. And for me, a lot of it was just sort of, it's that future projection thing. I talk about that. I kind of, learned a lot from I haven't read the book, but I sort of got a Cliff Note version of it from some YouTube videos of block is hot. This is the Power Is Now alarm going off. Book reference. But anyway, yeah, I read The Power of Now, or sort of the Cliff Notes of The Power of Now. And it really, it inspired a lot of sort of deep thinking in me, because it talks about how a lot of fear is always the past or the future. It's never now-based. It's always you imagining what it's going to be like, feeling those feelings, and then bringing them into the current space. Or imagining what it used to be like, remember that feeling, bring it back to the current, and then imposing that on what's happening right now. And the trick is to kind of just stay in the moment. Don't get too forward or too back. And that sort of fear, I think, yeah, that's good. Don't be, don't think about the future. Just kind of stay in the now. But the things that sort of come up in that are odd. If I get anxious in line or anxious in traffic, where it's the traffic is going slow. It's why is this person taking so long? Make the right already. Those little things. I wonder, I was well, why am I mad about that stuff? Why do those little annoyances, this person, counting change too long, or these little things that are just more my day isn't flowing. Why does that bother me so much? And it also turns out to be fear-based. It's when I got to the root of it, I said, I'm afraid that, you're taking time away from the grandkids I don't have. This is the 10 minutes that I could have spent with my children at the end. It's that's what it is. As crazy it is to sound, it's this moment is taking away from a moment that's supposed to happen, and it's taking too long. I'm supposed to be somewhere else right now, and this is taking away from my life. And it's this really odd sort of fear that I just am starting to kind of understand. It's ridiculous, you know what I mean? Patience, I think, comes from that sort of now. And so much of that being in the now and being in the moment for me is super helpful, especially because, I work a job where people just complain at me all day. And so when you deal with that, you have to face other people's fears and hear that and feel that and be able to, I always say one of the most important things I say all day is okay. This is working, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Let's see what we can do. There's a certain, you got to put it in a place where it's going to work out. And once you, abate a lot of fear, it allows clarity of thought and all these other things that are so odd And sort of the brain starts to spring open once the fear cloud is gone. And, for me, it's like, and I face the fear all the time. My comedy story of the week. I went to the Valley, to the lovely Liquid Zoo, where GT Comedy is kicking it off. And they do a lovely, comedy show. Usually it's very, very great. It was great this time, too. Go there, got my situation going, got my jokes ready. Guy goes up, he's like, "You're third. I'm going to go on right after, the little opener." And I was like, "Perfect." So guy goes up, real tall, and he goes to the mic. He's like, "Oh, man, I'm not touching that mic." And he kind of just leans down on the mic, and the mic is on a stand, and it's in the stand, and it's sort of like low in the stand. But he's not lifting up the mic, and he's not pulling the mic from the thing. He's like, "I ain't going to touch that mic. But, we having a good time tonight." And I was like, I wonder what that's about. So the first person goes up, they don't touch the mic. And they just kind of like grab the pole a little bit, blah, 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 blah. So then your boy goes on. Look, getting up on stage is always a little bit anxiety riddled. But, now I'm a little bit like, well, what's going on? And so when I get up on stage, I realize what's going on. So the mic is duct taped to the holder. Solidly duct taped to the holder. The pole itself is low in its stand place. The stand place is also duct taped with great vigor. So there is no moving this piece. Your boy is 6'4". We're probably looking at something about 4'10", right? So I initially start as a goof. I get down to sort of a horse stance and go, "I'm going to do this set like Van Damme," blah, 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 and get a little laugh. But then I realize I don't have the leg strength, the thigh strength for such a vigorously powerful move as to do a 7-minute set in horse stance. So I have to Mick Jagger it, and I just pick up the whole mic with like the circle at the bottom. And it's fairly heavy, right? But I'm just like, "Hey, how's everybody doing? What's the deal with bathrooms?" And just doing my set. And just doing my best, And then when I got done, I put the mic down with the stand and everything, clearly. And I got a good, applause. I get off stage. Guy comes on after me, and he just yanks that mic right out of that stand, rips the whole thing out, and stops the show for like 10 minutes. He thought, you guys just haven't tried brute force yet. That's really what you was wrong with it. And no, that plan didn't work either. He just went, pulled the whole mic out. He wound up having a great set afterwards. We put the mic back together. And actually, then it turned out to be smooth, because then we can move around with it. Did have a little bit odd echo, but your boy was done. But something like that, right? So what happens is each step of the way, oh my goodness, now it's this. Or I could have said that. But I didn't. I really, really didn't try to even think about it. I just thought we will deal with each moment as it comes along. And that is really from dealing with that fear-based training, from that now thinking. Because I remember before, if it was like I didn't have my scarf, I would be like, "Oh my God, I don't have my scarf. I hope I could do okay." Like Dumbo with a feather, And it was like there was odd thing like this, It's like, I don't want to have a drink before. If I have more than one beer, these sort of like things that I put up in my mind that were like, kind of like I think baseball does it, where it's like, you're holding your hat upside down, or any kind of chew gum with both sides, whatever that is. But these sort of, these things you use, these crutches you use to pretend that what it is. And it's fear-based, you know what I mean? It's fear-based. It's like, if I don't have this thing, it's not going to work. And so just this week alone, one set, I had all these crazy things happen, right? And your boy made it through. You know what I mean? We made it through. We got the set done. We did the bits, And I think so much of that is based on just not thinking about those things predetermined. It's like, I think it's tough to tell them, don't be afraid, because I'm afraid, silly shit. Shouldn't curse, but silly stuff. But I would say that a lot of that fear, when I can kind of separate mind from me, I see how much of it is just this future projection of something silly. And I think when I saw that thing happen with the mic, I made it like, what's going on with the mic? Oh, no. And I was like, don't even think about it. Don't even put your mind there. Wait till you get there. You figure it out. You know, and a lot of that helps. That helps me because that fear also helps with forgiveness, man. Because let me tell you, I blew it this week when it came to helping a friend. You know, I try to help fellow comedians and, you know, support when they go on. That friend who was at a big event at the Laugh Factory. And she invited me and got me on the list to go for free. And, you know, I spent the day having a couple beers, playing some golf, and then got home around 4 o'clock. I was like, you know, I'll take a little nap before that show tonight at 9:30. Set an alarm for 8 just in case it goes crazy. And then, you know, get up, shower, and go. So I wake up to the alarm around 11 p.m. at night. Can't be drinking beers like you used to, kid. You know, maybe it's the sun and the activity, but man, or my body needed it because, you know, been in the hustle, but man, I passed out and didn't hear that alarm for anything. And I felt terrible. I didn't lie about it. I messaged and I was like, look, here's the truth. I just passed out and the alarm didn't go off in time and I didn't make it. And I felt terrible. And I beat myself up for hours. And I really, that was another point where I had to think, like, why? And it was because I said, like, you're afraid that you're just not a man of your word. You're not a person of your word. Everything's ruined. And it's like, no, that's fear. You made a mistake. People make mistakes. You know, you got to forgive yourself. You didn't know. You thought, you know, I'll just take a little nap and then we'll get up. You know, you didn't know. You're not trying to hurt nobody. You did your best. Man, that took a couple hours to get to. Because I was like, man, how could you do this? You said it, and then you shouldn't be doing this. You know, trying to be that dude, now you're passing out. You're supposed to be hoping to friend. You know, and that kind of like beating yourself up. And it really was like, you're afraid that this mistake is you. You know what I mean? Like this thing you did is you. Everything else was, all that other hard work is BS. You're really just a slacker. And it's like, that's the mind. That's the mind projecting out fear. You know, to try and stop, to protect, they say. But, you know, in a sense, it winds up stopping you from doing what you're doing. So I had to forgive myself. I had to hug. You're okay. You made a mistake. You didn't know. Don't be drinking during the day if you had something else to do at night. It was like 6 beers. But that's a lie anyway. And I'm not the young man I used to be. Can't do it like that anymore. But yes, I've forgiven myself. And it was because I had to let go of that fear. I know that I do my best. And as long as you do your best, that's all you can do. The ups and downs happen, but you got to do your best. And in that, you know, you let go of some of the fear, you know. And I think for me, that's one of the more important things, especially as a comedian trying to make it to that next level where it's like you want to do bigger shows, bigger audience for a longer time. You know, you got to do that over a long period of time, you got to be very fearless. You got to just let go of all that and just be the best you can be at any given time. And you know, not worry about anything more than just trying to be your best at any given point. Moment now, not future, not past. Don't bring anything into it, just right now. And I think it helps deal with those moment-to-moment fears, especially when things actually go bad, like Mike's getting stuck. Or, you know, nobody laughing. Or, like, I remember one time I had to do a set where the mic was stuck back here and I couldn't, you know, all this stuff. Or, you know, now I'm trying to put out content soon like this. You know, it was a silly guy in his room, you know, talking. It's like, you know, I'm just not afraid to kind of just let you know that, you know, I think about this. I think other creatives think about this. And, you know, if you're out there trying to be creative, doing something that's in your heart, you know, everybody's afraid, man. Everybody's trying to figure it out. Live in the present, live in the now. Know that the reason that you're doing this is because you're supposed to be doing it. That's why it's in your head. Else it wouldn't be there. But at that, I think I think we're going to leave it. Don't be afraid. Follow your heart. Live in the now. All that good stuff. And as always, this is super fun. I hope you enjoyed it. This is Jason Delgado. This is the Orsini Studios. This is the ReUp. And thank you for joining us. We will see you on the next one.